Well, clearly the ECB is facing up to the twin perils of price deflation, or at least apparent price deflation as we move towards those flash Eurozone HICP numbers. But clearly business activity is also under threat. And I think further evidence of a deceleration, or at least a lack of acceleration in activity into the end of the year, really adds to the impetus on the ECB to need to do more to try and alleviate the stresses of the Eurozone. The cheapening up of the euro that we've seen over the course of the last 6 months will help, but I think it's a case that the markets and/or probably the real economy requires additional stimulus. Well, we've been anticipating a negative number for some considerable time, certainly over the course of the last couple of months in terms of this particular release. But I think when you looked at the deceleration that we saw in the German data yesterday and concurrent weakness that we've also seen in places like Spain, I think the risk is that we do see a weaker print than the median expectation. So yes, we're looking for a negative number. I think the market is looking for something in the region of minus 0.1 year on year. I wouldn't be surprised if it were a tenth or two below that. And I think that will just add to the presumptions of both euro negativity, but also pressure upon the ECB to do more. Well, of course, if there were to be a member leaving the Eurozone, that is a precedent, and that I think would be an unfortunate one for the zone as a whole, because of course it has always been assumed and always been highlighted by the powers that be that joining the euro is an irrevocable process. So I think that would be the obvious initial interpretation of the potential exit of Greece. And of course the other reality is it may well be the case that there are plenty of additional firewalls in place which weren't available to the Eurozone back when we've had previous episodes of concerns about a member exiting. But I think until we test those mechanisms, it's very difficult to suggest with any degree of confidence that they will be totally successful. So I think we have this twin problem that we have to be concerned as to the ability to withstand any contagion risk, and more so I think the possibility that one member leaving breaks that irrevocable nature of the Eurozone. And of course, then that does potentially open the floodgates for others, should they also run into difficulties over time as to potentially looking as an opportunity to leave the system.